Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's Tina. And today we're talking about one of my very favorite things about being a book influencer. We're talking about book mail. These are the books that have made their way into my home within the last month or so, books that I've bought, books that were sent to me, so let's get into it. If you like this kind of video, if you're interested in knowing about how to get book mail, how I started getting ARCs, let me know. I'd be happy to do an in-depth video about it. I should probably have some sort of order or some sort of rhyme or reason to this, but I'm not feeling like it. I'm just going to go ahead and be a little bit feral. So I'll start with the bag that I'm holding in front of me. It says Book Club Girl. Very exciting. My book club got picked to be one of the official Book Club Girl book clubs for 2025, and they are so incredibly generous. This is run through the publisher, and they actually send us books every month, either an email where we can select a couple of titles, but this bag in front of me is what they sent for the very first kickoff mailing. So they sent us a little wine glass. They did not send us a spoon. One of my kids put that in there. Sticker reads well with others. And then these were the first 4 books that we got as a book club. Fangirl, Yellowface, How to Sleep at Night, and The Midnight Feast. My book club primarily does a lot of mystery and thrillers, so we decided to read The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. And what's so exciting is everybody in my book club is getting all of these books, so they're very generous. So thank you to the publisher for this. I'm excited for this one. We like mystery and thriller. This one's set in a luxe coastal retreat where the beautiful setting hides the rot within. It's just one of those books. I feel like I'm going to fly right through it. Short chapters, and you don't have to think too hard, and you're going to be mildly entertained. This one I'm struggling with, How to Sleep at Night, Elizabeth Harris. I think it sounds good. This is about a couple. One of them decides that he wants to run for Congress as a Republican, and his husband is understandably very against this because it goes against his ideals. And so they have to sort of grapple with what this would mean. I'm very tempted to read this. The author reached out to me just to ask if I'd like a copy, and I do want to read it. I just don't know if this is the right time, but it is on my TBR. We all know Yellowface, right? This one is great. A lot of my book club members had already read it, so we didn't choose this, but this one's a wild ride. It's about a woman who steals her friend's idea for a novel and passes it off as her own. Not only does she steal her novel, she also appropriates her cultural identity. It's not great. This one I probably won't be reading. Fangirl Down. I just don't like romance that much. One of the other books they sent to us is the new Jennifer Weiner. These are ARCs. I'm so excited. This is coming out in April. And I love this author. I don't love books with music tie-ins, especially if it's like a, famous musician, but I've read so many of her books. I'm going to give it a shot. And it sounds like this is about sisters as well. And it's set in the golden age of pop music that celebrates the ties between women and the power of love and forgiveness. And she's been writing fiction for 25 years, and she says she's still interested in complicated bonds between sisters. She's interested in bodies, fascinated by motherhood, and then music. So we shall see. Another ARC that was sent to me, this one is Saltwater by Katie Hayes. This one looks like another juicy thriller, and this one is set in Capri. It is an electrifying thriller about a wealthy family who is haunted by an iconic crime whose annual trip to Italy is shattered when a member of their party disappears. So it sounds like it's rich people behaving badly. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of familial grudges. I really like this cover. This one's also from William Morrow. I was so excited to see this. It's Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor, and this one is science fiction. It sounds so interesting. It is about a novelist who is wildly successful in the science fiction space, but as her fame rises, she loses control of the narrative. And I want to say, like, the things that she creates start to come true. I don't know much more about this. I know this one is sweeping. It has a lot of different settings, and I'm so interested. I also talk about cover love, right? Look at that. I mean, even better when you take the jacket off. Just because I love the multi-layered covers. Also really great in pages, and this copy has sprayed edges. Antidote by Karen Russell. I am intrigued. This one is historical fiction. This is an ARC, and it is about the Dust Bowl. Kava Akbar is the blurb on the front here. He says, only Karen Russell could write a Dust Bowl opus with such raucous brio. Now, I don't know what raucous brio means. I can use my context clues, but I'm interested. This is, like I said, a novel of the Dust Bowl that intertwines the fates of 5 characters in a storm-ravaged Nebraskan town, revealing hidden histories and urgent warnings. I have never read this author before, but I gather she is very prolific and popular, so we shall see. Now, often when I get ARCs, they are sent to me from the publisher. I don't work with authors directly very often. I do make exceptions, though, on occasion, and one of them is Toni Helene, and her book that's coming out in March is called The Good Samaritan. She also wrote me a note, which I love. She works as an employment law attorney and runs a law firm, which is so cool, and this is a little Q&A with the author. Oh, you know what? I swear to you, I read the first chapter of this. Yes. Okay. So this is about a guy who is a sociology professor and his life is totally in a shambles. His toddler died. His wife divorced him. His teenage daughter abandoned him and he lost the job he loves. So he gets this tenure track position in a small town in Minnesota and he just goes and to try and basically, rebuild his life. While he's doing that, though, he pulls off on the shoulder while he's driving to Minnesota and sees something pretty disturbing. He sees a child curled up beneath a plastic tarp. The boy is alive but unconscious, and he impulsively puts the boy in his car, intending to go get help. And on the way, Matthew makes a dangerous choice. Matthew, I don't know what you did, but it doesn't sound good, but the book sounds great. Death in the Downline sounds like such fun. This one is from Quirk Books, and this is about multi-level marketing companies, and it's a laugh-out-loud funny, page-turning mystery set in the over-the-top world of multi-level marketing, and it offers sharp critique on social media, wellness culture, and the American dream. I just think this one sounds so good, and I love the cover. And the subtitle. It's called Death in the Downline, a multi-level marketing murder mystery. I'm not sure if this is cozy or not. It does look like there's multimedia elements in there. You can kind of see emails, you can see texts and things like that. So this looks like a good time. Now, Run came, this is a re-release. This is by Blake Crouch, and this is one of his earlier books. I think they are reprinting some of them. This one came out originally in 2011. I love Blake Crouch. I found him during Dark Matter. I absolutely loved that book. This one is about a pandemic or an epidemic. It says 5 days ago, the epidemic of rage began, and then it sounds like a family basically runs. That's the only choice that they have to try and save each other. And this one's going to be a wild page turner. The Perfect Home by Daniel Knitz. I remember reading the synopsis and I'm not sure it's for me. It says Fixer Upper meets Gone Girl. This is a domestic thriller set in the world of home renovation, and it features a woman who becomes public enemy number 1 after a horrifying discovery prompts her to flee her celebrity husband with their twin babies. Oh, I know. I think they had infertility issues, and I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to read about that. We shall see. I think it's one of those that I'm going to look for reviews, and if it starts to get buzzed, then I might pick it up. A book that I screamed when I got is Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy. This one comes out in March. I have already read this one. I absolutely loved it. I gave this one 5 stars. I will tell you more about it in my January wrap-up or later on, but basically it is about this family who live on a very remote island near Antarctica, and the island is going under due to rising sea levels. They're very isolated, and then one day a woman's body washes up on shore, and they nurse her back to health, and they're both sort of lying to each other. Gorgeous writing. Look at me telling you all about it, but get this on your radar. It's fantastic. Trust Issues. This one just came out this week, and it's about siblings who are estranged, and they have to work together to try and hunt down the man that they believed killed their mother and stole their inheritance. I'm hearing good early buzz for this one. I know Dennis from Scared Straight Reads, who I love, enjoyed this, and I am curious. Looks like it will be a fast-paced page turner. 2 of my more anticipated novels for February 2025. One is This Is a Love Story. This one comes out on February 4th, and it is about a couple, Abe and Jane, who have been coming to Central Park for 50 years, all throughout their relationship, and it basically follows them. It sounds like Jane is dying, and Abe is recounting their life together as a way of keeping their memories alive. I don't know if I can read this. It's gonna make me cry. And I don't know if I want to cry, but oh, look at this. The editor's note. You are holding a very special novel in your hands. The first time I read it, I couldn't stop crying, but I also couldn't put it down. It felt like staring into the sun. So if that's your vibe, maybe this one's for you. The other one that I'm excited for is A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. I loved her book, What Lies in the Woods. I thought that one was so smart. This one's interesting. It is about a woman who is going through this whirlwind romance with a man who's very wealthy. He is from a very powerful family called the Dalton family. They fell in love, and now 6 months later, he brought her to his family home. She's there, and she knows she's going to have to try and win over these skeptical relatives. What do you know? She feels like she's been at this house before, and then I think she sees a photo on the wall that looks like it's her. I'm very curious. I feel like this is going to be such a good thriller. One that I bought this month is The Girls We Sent Away. I bought this at my last bookstore adventure. We went in North Carolina. We stopped by So Much More to the Story, a bookery in Monroe, North Carolina. They're going to be our partner bookstore for Book Talk, etc. in March. But anyway, while I was there, I was chatting with a bookseller and the owner, and they said that this was their store's book of the month. And I've heard of this one. It sounds really good. It's called The Girls We Sent Away. This one is historical fiction set in 1960s North Carolina, and it is about when they used to send away unmarried women who got pregnant. So I'm curious to see how this is. I think this is going to be timely. It's a novel set during the intersection of the baby scoop era and space race, which I don't know what the baby scoop era is, but now I want to know. You thought I was done. In fact, I am not. This is my last bag of books here. Very generous from Vintage, the publisher. They sent me 4 novels from Anne Tyler. Anne Tyler has a new book coming out this year in, I want to say March, but they sent me 4 of her books. This is not an author that I have ever read, but I was reading through them. First of all, gorgeous. I'm loving what they're doing with the covers of her books. Excellent. And they sound like slice of life novels, a little bit of Anne Napolitano. And I'm curious. I definitely want to read this very soon. I don't think I have the new one here. No, these are her backlist ones, but I'm curious to see what her writing is like. And then the book that everybody is talking about, I had to get my hands on a copy. This is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. I got the sprayed edges, and I have not read the second book. I did love Fourth Wing. I did. I DNF'd the second book, but now oh God. Oh God, that was almost bad. I picked this one up because I do want to get back at it at some point. I think it's fun. This one's also not terribly, well, it's over 500 pages. I just wanted to pick up a copy because I wanted to get the sprayed edges because I have the dragons from the first one and I had to get them all. All right, and I also got The Adults by Allison S-Pack, and I was so excited to get this from Simon & Schuster. I loved her book last year, The Wedding People. I thought it was fantastic, and so this is one of her older novels. It's also supposed to be funny, which I did think The Wedding People was funny. At the center of an affluent suburban universe where neighbors commit suicide and high school teachers have suspect relationships with students is Emily Vidal, a smart and snarky teenager exposed to the world of grown-ups. I don't like snarky teenagers generally as a rule, but this could be good. It's a coming-of-age novel, which I do sometimes struggle with, but I don't know. I don't know anything else about this. I do like the cover a lot, though. I also got a copy of The White Crown by Michael Robotham. I like him. I think he's a great psychological crime writer. This one's coming out in July 2025, and it's about an ambitious young London police officer. Oh, we know her, Philomena McCarthy. She is in some of his previous novels, so she's returning. And her thing is she is a cop and her dad was a notorious gangster. Final arc is going to be Our Beautiful Boys by Samira Pandya, and this one comes out on March 18th. This one I know is a football book. I love sports. I love sports novels, and I know it's football. It's set in 3 parts: End Zone, Echoes, and Family Time. As when one of the star players on a high school football team, it says when the star players on a high school football team are accused of violence by another student, their secrets and the secrets of their parents threaten to shatter their entire community. And this is a novel of race, privilege, and class. I think this one's going to be tough, but I also think it's going to be really good. That's it for January book mail. Those are all of the books that made their way into my home within the last month. I'm going to go put them downstairs on my TBR shelf. If there are any that you really want me to read sooner than later, let me know and I'll try to bump that up. But thanks so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye. Last book that I am bringing into the house this. Oh, fuck, there's more.